But the Bible tells us that David encouraged himself in the Lord. What does it look like to encourage yourself in the Lord? And I just imagine that David stood there for just a moment, but all of a sudden there was something that dropped into him. Lord, when I was a younger man and I was watching over my father's sheep, there was a lion that came and wanted to rip my sheep in pieces and destroy them, but somehow you gave me the strength to grab him by the beard and kill him. And you also gave me that same kind of strength when a bear was going to do the same thing, when the paw of the bear was about to take out one of my sheep. And somehow, God, you gave me the strength to be able to kill those two. And Lord, I also want to remind you that I was out in that sheep pasture and I was minding my own business. And you had already taken your hand off of Saul, and you sent the prophet Samuel to my daddy's house. And when you sent him to my daddy's house, I was just out in the sheep field watching over my sheep, and all my brothers were at home. But Samuel came down to the house, and he was going to anoint a new king because you told him that it would be among the sons of Jesse. And so, Lord, I was just minding my business. And they came out after everyone. Samuel had looked over all of my brothers, and you chose me out of all of my brothers to be king. And Samuel, when I came into the house, Samuel poured that horn of oil over my head, and he said, "You're the next king of Israel." Lord, I didn't ask for that position, but you're the one that said it. I was minding my own business, but you are the one that anointed me to be the next king. And here I am running from Saul, but I'm still to be the next king. And Lord, I want to also remind you that when Saul was in a place where that he couldn't get a hold of you, I went and I played my harp and I sang to try to calm the demon spirits that were in him. But Lord, I also want to remind you that somehow when my brothers and all of the army of Israel, they were scared of Goliath, there was something that when I went down to the camp and I saw that all of them were afraid to fight Goliath, there was something that came over me, Lord, and you gave me the strength to not be afraid. You took all of the fear out of my life, and you gave me the courage to go down to that brook and to get 5 smooth stones, to pick up those stones. You gave me the courage, Lord, when that giant lifted his voice and it rumbled and reverberated through that valley enough to shake every one of my brothers. It did not shake me, Lord, because you gave me the courage that I didn't necessarily have, but you gave me the courage. And David's just reminding the Lord of all of those things that he has already done for him, all those things that he's already done on his behalf, even though right now all around him is a mess. The women are gone. They don't know where they're at. His men are ready to stone him, but David encouraged himself in the Lord because David was running his race with patience. He had already been anointed king. You have already been anointed bride. He had already been anointed king, but he was still running from Saul. You have been anointed as priests and kings, but you're still defeating devils in your life. You're still putting them down. Run this race with patience, the race that is set before you. Encourage yourself in the Lord. How do I do that, brother? Remind the Lord and the devil of all all of the times that God has come through for you. Remind him of your salvation. Remind him of your Holy Ghost experience. Remind him of the refillings that God has given you along the way. Remind him. Who? The devil? Yeah. God? Yeah. Remind both of them. Does God need reminding? Probably not. Does the devil need reminding? Probably not. I think he's probably still nursing the wounds of when some of us got delivered. And he's pulled and he's yanked and he's jerked and he's pulled and he's yanked and he's jerked, trying to get you to get back to the place where you once were. He's trying to get you to take your eyes off of Jesus and get your eyes on your circumstances. And he's trying to get you to be impatient with your journey so that you'll quit and go back to Egypt, that you'll try to find a leader that will take you back to Egypt. But run this race with patience. Run this race with patience, the race that is set before you, looking unto Jesus and away from your circumstances. Looking away from your circumstances and unto Jesus, who is the author and the finisher of your faith.